have two businesses, Pink Maharani and Metamuse, but that's not why I'm here. I'm more here to connect with you and speak about my entrepreneurial journey of how you can do your own, whatever it is, right? So we'll just kickstart and we'll see where this goes. So Kirsten asked me to speak about how a calling became a career, and I was like, that's quite interesting. I've never thought about this in that sense, like a calling becoming a career. I always thought like, oh, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm just doing my thing, but the more I reflected on it, she's brilliant, I said, it's true. It is really true, right? So we all have heard that, right? Courage is like a muscle, we strengthen it by use. It's pretty here. I'm changing that. Awareness is like a muscle. We strengthen it by use. And I believe a lot of the things that's happening in the world, inside, outside, starts with awareness. And Roxanne did an amazing job opening the conference on the topic of awareness. So I'm not going to lull on it more. Just going to do a really little thing. We're going to take our fingers like that and just bring it together just like that. And it doesn't happen in the first go. If you want to touch all 5, you see, it happens maybe at the 3rd time, right? Use that sign whenever you're in this moment and you think you need a moment of awareness. Just use that. I'll come to that why. I'm not going to do this exercise because Roxanne did an amazing job, so we'll just breathe and breathe out. Okay. So why do you have to listen to me? Why? Why am I even standing here, right? Who has been to India? Show of hands. Fantastic. When you go to India, it's supposed to say reinvent, but yeah, well. When you go to India, you go to traffic signals and you stop, and then you have kids coming to the door trying to sell you cucumbers and balloons and so on. That's sort of where the journey of my father began. So my father was one of those kid entrepreneurs at the age of 10, selling cucumbers and balloons and whatnot, because my grandmother would not allow her 6 kids to come home without bringing 1 rupee home, because they had to contribute. So that's his story. And then he's so obsessed with knowledge that he just taught himself physics of all things in the world. And he's a self-taught physicist, awarded an honorary doctor by a French university, and his stuff is on the moon and the Mars today. And I still don't get what he does properly. Like, seriously. So I am the first graduate in my family. I completed my graduation in Germany. And then this whole entrepreneur journey started with it exploding and going in the direction of social business, women empowerment, becoming the top 20 women awarded by the UN Women, doing a groundbreaking business, blah, 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 right? So I hope I've convinced you enough to listen to me, because sometimes in the world of business and sometimes in the world of entrepreneurship, this credibility is part of your strategy, right? And I think we don't use that enough. Again, I don't like to bring the gender thing in it, the male, female. I think it's a personal thing. But I think as women, we could do more of that. We could do more of like, yes, I have done this. I've been there, you see? Somehow it does something to you. Okay, in order to really talk about what you're going to talk about, you have to not just be authentic, like is the value of WIN, you have to be radically authentic. Radical authenticity is really the kind of value we need in today's world. Anything in between, for me, is an excuse. Each of you in your roles, as a mother, wife, boss, colleague, whatever it is. So take a minute, not even a minute, 20 seconds, just 20 seconds, just with the count of your fingers, just like have a moment and think, what are the 4 or 5 most important things for you in life? Just take 20 seconds, and then I'll share mine. I don't have much time anyway, so. Okay. So I'm going to leave these postcards up front here. They have beautiful signs like joy, freedom, grateful. maybe at the end of the session, after everybody's going out, take one and write that down, whatever you were just thinking now. Mine are well-being, mental and physical well-being, relationships, success. I'm very ambitious. Success is for me super, super important, not in the sense of money, but success in the sense of growth, building something, empowering others, taking everyone with me. Health with COVID, and happiness sort of combining the whole thing. Have you thought about this? What is the price tag for happiness? We are driven by money. Yesterday, I brought it up somewhere that I had a really hard time raising money, my seed round for MetaMuse. There is a price tag for happiness. Did you know that? 75,000 USD per annum, the biggest research done by Nobel Prize winning economist, Daniel Kahneman, in US. Okay, this is in the US context, but you can convert this into a Western Hemisphere thing, right? Yeah, of course, it's different for different countries. But there is a tag where you need to fulfill your basics, your insurance, your rents, your tuition fees and all that. And then you hit a plateau, and after that, money doesn't really drive you, doesn't push you over the edge. And that's your magic number. And I think it's interesting to think about that number. People say money can't buy happiness, but then it's nicer to cry in your BMW than on a bicycle, isn't it? What I'm trying to say is we have all a relationship towards money, right? I think it's just nice to just question it. Because this is happening. We spoke about our journey, inner journey, how we wake up as me and my da-da. But that's happening in the world as well. Emissions are going out of control at certain regions, and at certain regions it's, that's actually happening. It's on a curve up, the emissions. Outside, so I need planet Earth to exist, to breathe, What am I doing towards that? How am I taking this energy and what we heard from Roxanne and Hannah and Elisa, how am I taking it and putting it out there? That's sort of what I'm getting to. So my question is, what if we developed a lower footprint, higher well-being lifestyles by design rather than by necessity? So if everything we did, every business we started, every conference we did, every workshop we did, if you always sort of had this question in the back of your mind, what would happen? I'm not going to give you the answers. You're going to do the homework. I did this. This is my journey. I did MetaMuse. I realized all these amazing women that Elisa was talking about earlier, I thought was fantastic. Then I said, what about all the women in Ghana and in Kenya and in India and in Cameroon and wherever? What about them? They're all doing these fantastic things. What about them, right? So we launched this platform, which is a B2B sustainable sourcing platform. So you basically dream it, and we make it. That's the slogan. I think that covers it all. I'm not going to pitch more of that. It's low emission, it's handmade, it's highly impactful in every regard, not just environmentally, not just socially, and it's beyond being ethical and sustainable. This, thanks to Kirsten, thanks to Win, we actually made this for Win, which DHL lost, sorry to say. But I think it's a positive spin, because this way I could connect more with you. You could come and talk to me and ask me, how was this pouch made? Who made it? It's upcycled. Scraps were collected from landfills, rewoven by women. Come sign up at our desk to get one. It's free. It was meant for you. 225 have been made for you. This is bridging women from Kolkata to women in Rome. Isn't that fascinating? And, of course, the WIN team had a beautiful inspire the world. That's your reminder every day to inspire the world you live in. I didn't have many pictures, so I just took the one that I was sent. Plus, every organization, every artisan group we work with, they support schools and orphanages, pay health insurance, so on and so forth and so on and so forth. I'm not going to go on. So what I want to say ultimately is every thought, action, dollar counts. It absolutely counts. And supporting these kind of businesses, these kind of conferences counts. We always think it doesn't matter, but it matters beyond your imagination. I can promise you that. Okay, so take this home, because I want to leave something for you to take home. I have less than a minute. Think about that side project. Everybody has a side project, something that you always wanted to do, always dreamed of. Write a poetry book, I don't know, make a sketchbook, or do permaculture, or think about that. Don't forget that. Think about that. Doesn't matter if you're in your fanciest corporate jobs and you're a coach and you're a dancer. Doesn't matter. But keep that alive. Think about that. Maybe take the card and write it down. Does it bring you joy? Whatever you're doing right now, does that bring you joy? And this side project, does that bring you joy? Think about it. I operate from the inside out. I challenge you to do the same. Outside, things happen, they change, it's always ongoing. But then when you switch the cycle and do it inside out and ground up, like looking at opportunities, where we are, around us, possibilities. Compliment. I think this we do least of. And I want to take this moment, just 2 seconds, to compliment Kirsten for bringing us together. I think sometimes we forget to take the moment to compliment each other. But I think I really want to take that moment to compliment you for 25 years of doing this. And it's just absolutely incredible that you bring these women together. So thank you. I just have one more slide, just the last slide. This is actually a nice slide. The last one, okay. So, awareness, emissions, take from here and see how you can help, right? Metamuse could be an option. I'm not pitching my company, but it could be an option, right? Could be. Ticks all the boxes. Most importantly, be a torchbearer. You have the light. You have the light, more than you think you do. The higher you lift it, the further the light spreads, right? Think about yourself as an agent of change, because you are that. And I leave you with this. I love this quote, because we talk so much about the future. The future is not some place we are going to, but the one we are creating right now. The paths are not to be found, but made, and the activity of making them changes both the maker and the destination. Isn't that fabulous? And this somehow, for me, reflects what we're doing here right now. With this, I leave you. Thank you very much.
So, thank you. And I needed to wear one of your creations.
She's wearing my shawl, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Wonderful. And we look forward to these little
yes,
bags. And I think it's great we put the Inspire the World on. Thank you for doing that.
It's a great reminder, no?
Yeah, it's great. So I think it's also so cool that you're saying how you're working inside out, your joy, and it works, it happens. And this is also such a great thing. Sometimes people will say, oh no, it doesn't work. But it does. We just heard you.
It does.
And we've seen the pictures. Also, how you're working with the women around, also giving them work too. So tell us a little bit about the work creation part of this and your mission related to that.
I guess, growing up with not much, I think that shapes you, right? I think if you grow up already in a setting where the cards that are dealt with you are already bad, there's nothing else that can happen after that, There's sort of that mindset, right?
Great.
And everything that on top of it you create is for the world.
Yeah.
So the price tag for happiness, I put there for a reason, because we all have these images, isn't it? Like the Forbes magazine and the richest guy, the richest woman and stuff. But when you ultimately come down to the ground, it's not much we all need to have a fulfilled, joyous life, right? And then once we achieve that, what do we do with it? Then I come here to support you.
Yeah.
Then I come here to support you. You know, I come here, you know, because that gives me joy. That gives you joy, isn't it? So that's why I put that slide in there, because to understand a bit more from the outside.
Yeah.
So that's sort of where the mission comes from, to give and to be a channel, to be an instrument.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
Thank you, Kessie.
Thank you. Thank you.